Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing great. And that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. And I guess also subsequently on Facebook as well. There are links in the description below. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. A bit of a preface, a foreword, if you will. The cryptocurrency world is quite crazy. I mean, every day you can't really begin to imagine how many things are actually taking place. I think maybe a lot of you logically can if you've been following the channel for a while. Understand what it means when I say like that I make videos daily and how, like, think of that. There's been something or like multiple crazy things every single day for at least the last 10 years. Like, I mean, like crazy, completely out of control, like things are picking up speed really fast. I think a lot of people within crypto heavily underestimate exactly how far we've come as a market. The players who are in the space, the way that money actually moves, between the misconceptions that we've gone over the course of multiple years, about crypto, about Bitcoin, but also the idea as to like what money is, how money moves, who's paying attention to the space. Like when we heard before multiple times. And I know that it still, I have to use the word abstract because it's the only thing that kind of makes any sense. So we, me and you, might hear that a government is buying Bitcoin, or that this is happening, or that a company purchased 7,000 Bitcoin. I think it makes sense, obviously. I'm speaking in English, but you don't understand how deep that all of this actually goes. The saddest part that is and will be about the cryptocurrency space is that so many people who are in the market right now are only paying attention to like short-term gains, short-term goals, trying to make as much money as possible. And then basically they will leave and flee the market and then realize years later that they could have made more. That is simply an observation from things that I've seen my entire life, but also like just the kind of the truth for everything. When you talk about the number of companies who've gotten into the space, like remember the significance of PayPal announcing that they were getting into the cryptocurrency market, that they loved Bitcoin. Bitcoin's amazing. Bitcoin's fantastic. When we heard in 2018 that the leaders, heads of the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ were talking highly about Bitcoin, and I was like, everyone pay attention. Like, this is it. Like, there's no turning back from whence we've came, where we are, where we're coming from. The cryptocurrency market is here to stay forever. When you hear, I mean, whatever, without having to ramble on, I have so many things that go through my mind all the time. And I try to make sure that I share them with you or that we go over them. And it's just this kind of like, you normally, obviously, you'll read about history in a book. You'll watch it in a documentary. But it's not every day. I mean, actually, backing it up, it actually is every day that we witness history now. But like, we're seeing these dramatic changes in the world, in finance and in money. And I feel like not enough people are paying attention to it. They're very blasé about it. So this news came out and I saw the, what's the word? Like the excitement about it. And I realized it was because that people already forgot the news that has happened multiple times that we've been hearing about over and over. So for those of you not looking at the screen, Deutsche Telekom, otherwise known as T-Mobile or T-Mobile, depending on where you are, their subsidiary called T-Systems MMS has launched a pilot project in collaboration with Bankhaus Metzler to operate a Bitcoin mining infrastructure powered by surplus renewable energy. For those of you who didn't get that, T-Mobile has announced that they're going to start mining Bitcoin with their excess energy that they have. If you don't see the significance of this, this is probably not the market for you. When we hear all the time that companies are already mining Bitcoin, that was a major thing a number of years ago as well, hearing that people were getting into the Bitcoin mining game. Because it used to just kind of be a game or a thing for people who had like normal laptops. And then that transitioned to, well, like you can't use a normal laptop anymore, so you have to use something different. That was part of the significance of hearing that, for those of you who missed it once again, that China has not banned Bitcoin mining. You need like certificates for it. But the other part is that a large portion of these companies who are mining Bitcoin within China are actually owned by the government. The Chinese government, who are also accumulating large amounts of Bitcoin as well. Do you understand what it means for a company as large as T-Mobile to have to like there are discussions that happen behind the scenes that we are not privy to, that we are not a part of, that basically comes down to the conclusion, this is going to make people a lot of money. We have to figure out a way to also get into it as well. So let's start doing this. Even crazier, as I'm saying that, I know a good portion of you have also forgotten a lot of the news that we've had before for T-Mobile and Deutsche Telekom. So I'm going to have to refresh your memories with that as well. According to a recent announcement, the initiative aims to utilize electricity from renewable sources that would otherwise remain unused due to grid limitations or insufficient storage options. The project, being called Digital Monetary Photosynthesis, seeks to provide valuable data and insights for planning future endeavors to stabilize energy grids. By using excess energy for Bitcoin mining, the partners aim to contribute to balancing supply and demand within the energy grid. They don't have to lie. It's no one needs to hear all of this kind of fluff. But companies have to always do it to show that they're like green or trying to like help out. These people figured out that Bitcoin is going to $1 million per coin and they want in. And the way that they're trying to get in is basically saying that all the excess electricity that there's out there that they can basically get for cheap. They know that mathematically they can transfer that into Bitcoin. And should Bitcoin continue rising in price, the company will be able to profit from it exponentially. Bitcoin mining is going to get completely out of control over the course of the next 10 years. This was also something, I don't want to use the word prophesized, but predicted for crypto and the space. As more countries get into buying Bitcoin, as we're currently seeing, which is also a shame that people keep ignoring this, they're also going to start mining Bitcoin as well, and is going to begin to hit a fever pitch around the 2030s when people realize that all the Bitcoin that's coming out of the system is just going to be dust. That's going to be a major catalyst for people realizing that they have to try and get as much Bitcoin as they possibly can in any given way. And that even 300,000 Satoshis will be worth a huge amount of money in the future. A lot of people have already forgotten that there are a large number of like big companies who announced years ago that they were also getting into Bitcoin mining as well. A lot of people have also forgotten that Deutsche Telekom and T-Mobile announced, I want to say a year ago, that they're also mining and also validating transactions on multiple different blockchains right now as well, which is also incredibly significant. When you hear these things, it kind of like it's solidifying the space. Anytime, and I say it this way, anytime that you hear any kind of political opposition or the news that like we hear quite often of this country's working slowly towards trying to do this, these people are setting themselves up for an immense amount of failure. The people who are winning at crypto are already, like, they're already winning. Like, there's really no going back from that. And the countries that really understand exactly what's going on, like, they are going to be the winners of this entire story. It's kind of like years ago. I remember people also probably have forgotten about this as well. There was a news story years ago about Portugal. Remember? And Portugal has the 0% tax rate for crypto. And then Germany was like, yeah, us too as well. Like, we're also going to have a 0% tax rate. And then 2 years after that, Germany announced that if you're, I think it's something to do with staking crypto. I think like your staked crypto isn't taxed. It's something along those lines. And I was like, they're going to win. Like, they understand exactly what's going on. So when you even hear, for those of you who don't know, T-Mobile is a German company, that this is another German company who's talking about mining Bitcoin. They're already validating transactions on a number of different blockchains. Like, this is going to be around forever, and these companies are going to be making excessive amounts of money. This was, of course, popular news, which is very, very cool that people are actually paying attention to this, but this will kind of fade away from the memories of a lot of people over the course of the next couple of weeks, just for the sake of whatever the case might be. Whenever you hear something crazy, I implore you to tell your friends about it. I have a couple of friends who got into crypto, and I mean, they thought crypto was like flipping hot chocolate in the air and trying to run through it. See how obscene that sounds? That's what they thought. And I was telling them about crypto for years, and I realized that they were into a different kind of finance. So I began to mention things like when we heard that BlackRock was getting in the space, when we heard that Visa and MasterCard had jumped in as well. There was another company. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was something to do with a stock exchange. And that was they were this is legit. And I was yes, you're understanding exactly what's happening now. And I'm not simply running through hot chocolate. A lot of other people who've also forgotten about this as well. This is news that we got a while ago and people just have simply forgot. For those of you who aren't looking at the screen, you know that T-Mobile allows you to stake your crypto? Yeah, they have a staking service. T-Mobile, the phone company, the people with the phone and the internet. About a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, they announced that you can stake they are buying and staking crypto. Remember how I told you that a lot of people are, it's not a diversion, but it's also a diversion. A lot of people pay so much attention to Bitcoin and just accumulation and just price. Bitcoin's price, Bitcoin's price, Bitcoin's price, Bitcoin's price. And I've been telling you for a number of years, the governments know what's going on. This isn't a secret. They understand. They've had surveys before that have shown that if crypto continues to get bigger, it's going to take over and basically get rid of the old system. This is why we see companies piling into the space and buying as much as they can, because they also have this data and these metrics, and they know a lot more than we do because they have data that we can't simply begin to imagine. T-Mobile and probably dozens of other companies around the world are buying up Bitcoin. They're mining Bitcoin. They're buying up altcoins and they're staking them. What did I tell you all those years ago about cryptocurrencies that you can stake? I said they're going to be the it coins. In the future, you already, people are working on proposals and stuff already for Bitcoin on layer 1, on layer 2s, and through wrapped Bitcoin and these other chains that you're going to be able to stake your Bitcoin and get passive income from it. Cardano, Ethereum, these other coins that allow you to buy and hold them and stake them. People keep always trying to throw out news that Ethereum's inflationary when the usage is making it deflationary. There's really no new Ether except for the people who are already holding Ether. These people will get rich forever. The amount of Cardano that's made, I think there's no more that will ever be made either. Imagine you have 38 companies around the world who've been silently buying this while everyone else has been, oh, the market's down, I can't buy anything. Imagine we hear that 90% of Cardano is owned by 1,000 wallets and everyone's like, well, that's not fair. Look at the screen. T-Mobile has on their website, stake your crypto assets and get rewards. This is the future of finance. It's already here. It's the present of finance. You are going, I'm telling you, Mike, this gives me a headache. You are witnessing history. You are witnessing the change in the system. You are witnessing the swap. These companies have figured out that retail isn't paying attention, that people in crypto keep selling their coins when the prices go down or when they go sideways. These people are going to buy up all the crypto and there will be nothing left. You will own 200 Cardano and tell people, yeah, I lucky enough to have 200. Isn't that crazy? While these companies have 14 million, 17 million. It's like I was saying before. I remember when Cardano was 1 cent, and I remember being like, is anyone seeing this? Is anyone paying attention? You will you will understand my words, and they will send shivers down your spine in the future. This is not a joke. Do you understand that rich people already don't want us in the market? The level of consolidation of wealth is crazy. Remember how I always mention, last point, we keep hearing ETF, 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 ETF. The ETFs aren't the only things that are buying. There are so many companies on this planet who are buying in secret or even right in front of your faces. It's so crazy what's happening to the world. You have to be a part of this. You have to be a part of this. The way that assets are already being made and transformed is crazy. I told you that before, and I saw people in the comments. People in the comment section are just interesting sometimes. When I was telling you about home ownership, people don't understand what it means for these companies to buy and own this property forever. You don't get that there are already websites, there are already funds, and even REITs who realize that home ownership is going to be a thing of the past for 99% of people. So now they're offering they're offering you like a brick, a literal brick as part of the building that was made, saying, hey, you can buy bricks in this property to make you feel like you own something. They're going to own all the crypto that you sold years ago. And then you're going to look and be like, oh my gosh, I remember when I had. There are going to be so many Bitcoin pizza guys because no one's listen. Because 80% of people in the market aren't looking forward. There's nothing in their minds that says, let me buy an asset and hold on to it. That's why so many times you would hear me frustrated. Not when prices are going down, it's not because of prices going down. It's because I would see my views falling. And I knew that meant that people were leaving the market. They were uninterested and they rush back in when prices go back up. And it's like you're missing the chance of multiple lifetimes. The life you want, that you desire, is within reach. It's not a dream. It's not something that's 38 years away. It is sitting right in front of you, and it has been for all these years. But you have to stay the course. It's not difficult. It just takes a minimal level of discipline, which 80+% of people lack, especially when it comes to finance. Didn't mean to ramble about T-Mobile. That was like the last thing I thought was going to happen. But it's like, geez, like, get it together. It's really insane. I told you, I have friends who do the exact same thing. Like, it's not just 80% of listeners. It's friends as well. These people get into the market when the market is hot, and the moment it goes down, I'm like, look at the prices. You should be getting into the market. No, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I was actually thinking blah, 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 blah. And there's all these excuses, and the market goes back up, and they go, oh my gosh, again, like, I wish I had bought more. And I sit there looking at them like disgusted. I'm like, you sound stupid. Like, you sound ridiculous. You keep having all these chances. Like, these chances are not going to last forever. T-Mobile is buying Bitcoin. T-Mobile is mining Bitcoin. T-Mobile is buying a multitude of different altcoins. And they're staking them for themselves, and they're allowing you to also stake your coins as well to get passive income. When these coins skyrocket, when we have a $24 Cardano, when Ethereum's $13, $14, $15, $20,000, when Bitcoin's at $14 million, and you can stake all of these coins passively in the future and not ever have to work again. You know. That's the T-Mobile news, and I'm pretty sure in 6 days people will forget about this as well. And yeah, let's move on. Also in popular news, but also in the United States Securities and Exchange Commission is delaying its decision on approving Ethereum spot market exchange traded fund options. Options are another thing that people believe is going to help propel prices a lot higher. Since ETFs are kind of more easier to get now, we haven't heard of any new ones, and I assume that's because the SEC is probably like, no, the ones that we have now are totally fine. The SEC always delays decisions on everything. We'll see how that ends up changing next year. But as I said, I'm not really expecting anything miraculously different. I think there will still be a lot of support for Bitcoin and Ethereum from the SEC. If we have a new SEC commissioner who kind of opens the door for multiple other altcoins and gives classification and yada, yada, yada. Maybe I've been vexed for far too long to even think that something good can come out of all of this. But people think that options are going to be the next thing that will allow additional liquidity to like flood into the market. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and all these, these like analysts who have like these weird names on Twitter. Like there are people who are like, I've been a financial analyst for 28 years and their Twitter handle is like Hot Monkey Dog. And it's like, what? Like you're giving people advice with that name? I don't really understand. A lot of people think that this will allow extra billions of dollars to kind of flood into the market. On top of that, it'll give like extra liquidity into our market to also make it more stable. But this is also being done in part because of control by the market, by wealthy people who have continuously made sure to flush out normal people from the space in order to get their coins to consolidate the actual wealth. So that should something negative happen, there's no actual risk, if you will, of markets kind of cascading because of the number of wealth consolidation within the market. I don't know how to make that any prettier. In a new filing, the regulatory agency says it will be delaying its choice as a means of allowing for more public input. The SEC doesn't care about public input. They care about their own input. We've heard multiple times from other people who like work in the SEC. Like that's the worst part. If we hadn't heard, apparently I think it's 5 people who are the heads of the SEC. Like there's one at the very top. Then there's 4 others. Combined, it's fine. Got it. 5. Got it. And what happens is that we've heard multiple times that when there was a vote for or against anything for Bitcoin and Ethereum, it was always a 3-2 or a 4-1 split in the nay category. So they pretend that they actually want more public input, but they don't. They don't actually care at all. It usually came down to Gary Gensler's word. And then we heard after Grayscale sued the SEC, that Gary Gensler basically like put up his thumb and was like, okay, we can finally have one, because he didn't want to be dragged through the mud once again. And expert analysis on whether the change would be consistent with current security laws, though no specific date was provided. It's usually, I think, another 2 or 3 months after the nay has been given, or the IDK. Usually there ends up being a yay or a nay sometime later on, but potentially we might hear the answer by around like February or March. At that point, I believe there would be a brand new person sitting in the SEC chair. They said the commission is instituting proceedings to allow for additional analysis of the proposed rule change consistency with the law, which requires that the rules of a national securities exchange be designed to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices, to promote just and equitable practices of trade, to remove impediments to and protect the mechanism of a free and open market. Why are they lying to us? Anyway, cool. Yeah, this was also major news. I think because it has to do with Ethereum. Anything Bitcoin, Ethereum will always end up making big news. A lot of speculation. I don't have it in this video. A lot of speculation as to Ethereum, where it's going to go, Ethereum's price, how high it's going to be within the next couple of months are completely off the charts. It seems relatively redundant to have it in a video, every other video, every 5th video. Just more of a, it's going to happen kind of thing. We will see it. It's going to take place. I, for one, am quite excited, as in the next 4 weeks, we should be seeing a lot of those price predictions come to fruition for the cryptocurrency market, you know which ones I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the US SEC ETF ABC options news. Cool. Let's move on. In very popular news, I think it's interesting, but it's also like, okay, cool. Charles Hoskinson, Cardano's founder, recently discussed Bitcoin and the BitcoinOS, or BOS, a smart contract operating system designed for bringing Bitcoin to advanced capabilities and seamless interoperability. A number of years ago, the talk of the town was the EVM, the Ethereum Virtual Machine. All of the coins that said that they would be better than Ethereum or become number two or usurp Ethereum basically bent one of the knees and declared that they were going to be integrating Ethereum into their systems in an act to try and get people to also do business on their chain. Some of it worked, some of it didn't, but mainly every chain has an EVM at this point, an Ethereum virtual machine. It basically means like compatibility, interoperability, what you can do on Ethereum, you can do on that chain, what you can do on that chain, you can do on Ethereum, that kind of thing. You can transfer value, etc., etc. That is transforming into Bitcoin bridges, kind of the same exact idea that from this chain, you can do that. And as Bitcoin is probably going to remain the number one coin, at least for the foreseeable 100 years, other chains are now talking about their interoperability and mixing with and mingling with and integrating with Bitcoin at the exact same time. A lot of people are talking about this in a very awesome, fantastic way. Some of the earlier things we were talking about had to do with like staking Bitcoin and being able to like transfer the value of Bitcoin across other chains. It's a big thing. It actually is a big thing. Don't hear my cynicism, but it actually is quite large. However, this story is going to take a turn that you were not expecting. In a recent partnership, Cardano has joined forces with the BitcoinOS to incorporate the Grail Bridge, opening Cardano's decentralized finance sector to Bitcoin's $1.3 trillion worth of liquidity. So Cardano has joined the fray, and they're basically trying to say, look at us, like we're doing amazing things. We're now also integrating with Bitcoin so that if you use Bitcoin, you can use us. And if you use us, you can also use Bitcoin. And at some point, like I said before, they're going to announce that because of all the interoperability and the DeFi and all these other kinds of things, that you'll essentially be able to put the value of your Bitcoin onto Cardano and also stake it in some sort of form or fashion. You still have no idea where this story is going. According to BOS, the collaboration offers Cardano users and developers secure, trustless access to Bitcoin's assets, enhancing cross-border currency. I talked about Hydra, how amazing this is, and this is so-and-so. He talked about transparency, processing off-chain. So the big news actually is, if you didn't see the gaming controllers up there, during the discussion, Hoskinson mentioned that developers successfully got the video game Doom to run on Hydra as well. Yeah, so now you can officially play Doom on Cardano. See, I told you had no idea where that was going. People figured out, I want to say the beginning of this year, maybe sometime last year, that they could play Doom on Bitcoin. And that was like a major thing. People were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then they did this with some other game as well. So the news of the day is that Cardano, the system, is trying to integrate heavily with Bitcoin everyone's doing the exact same thing. If you don't, you will disappear because it's Bitcoin. And you can also now play a video game on Cardano. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. Let me know if you decide to play Doom on Cardano Bitcoin Hydra. Let me know how that works out. Just, for entertainment's sake. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope you continue to pay attention and realize that the world is changing and that rich people are buying up all the crypto and that there will be nothing left for you and your family if you don't have any in the future. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.